Hello, everybody, and welcome. We're here live at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, one of the truly great motorsports venues here for the AWSCO Windows Cup Series. As for round 26 of 40, it's the Brickyard 400, one of the biggest events of the season for the Cup Series and for stock car racing in general, of course. As the Cup Series grid prepares for 160 laps around the this 2.5 mile rectangle. We've been on a bit of an irregularly shaped oval kick here in the Cup Series. This is our first race back in the United States of America since the Daytona Road Course. In fact, you'd have to go all the way back to Michigan for our last Cup Series race on an oval in the United States. So it's been a while since we've done that kind of thing. Obviously, we had our international tour and the road course and international tour kind of in between all of that. So we're kind of returning back to the usual schedule here, as I'm joined by Ellie in the studio for the pre-race show. We've seen a lot here in practice. We've seen a lot of practice in qualifying. This is shaping up to be a bit of an intense race. These drivers are definitely going to be pushing the envelope of performance, I believe, into this at this racetrack. Of course, Indianapolis, this IMS isn't exactly created for these stock cars, so it's always been this kind of event has always been kind of a square peg in a round hole kind of thing.
Drivers
and
to your
these cars are a fair bit bigger and a little bit slower than the Indy cars that this track is kind of optimized for. So, what do you think the racing is going to look like here today at Indy?
I think it's going to look very competitive and aggressive, especially given we saw the Continental Series race here the other day, and it was very good racing. I think it'll be a little rough in the first maybe 20, 30, 40 laps. I think everybody's going to try and pace themselves and kind of see where they are in terms of their setup and kind of what their strategy is for a bit. But I think what we're going to end up seeing is a lot of draft-based racing. This track kind of lends itself to more towards kind of relying on drafting off of somebody. You might have to find a really good drafting partner here. But I think once we get into some good green flag runs, I think we're going to see some very aggressive and just nice racing to watch from, especially some of our drivers who are better on ovals.
Yeah, I mean, that's one part of racing here at Indy that's pretty similar between Indy cars and stock cars, is that it often becomes a game of drafting your way past your opponents, especially early on in the race when the field is a lot more compressed. Obviously, with the way starts and restarts are handled in AWSCO, the initial start of the race is the only time you'll ever see a double file start, and that's probably going to be the point of concern here if you're talking about the early race. Obviously, cars are going to be moving about early on to try to get up ahead of their opponents. Obviously, this isn't the triple wide start that happens in the Indy 500 every year, but with the stock cars being bigger, even a double file restart can be rather dangerous at times. And that's definitely something we'll have to look at the beginning of the race to watch out for any kind of early incidents that might crop up because of that. But otherwise, yeah, that's kind of the main thing. I've noticed the drivers have been rather bold heading into turn 1, I think. That's probably the riskiest place to overtake. Usually, you want to set up moves heading into turns 1 and turns 3, of course, after the end of the long straightaways, using that draft to help you. We'll see how the wind works out today. I believe we're going to have a double check what the wind is going to look like. I believe it'll be 10 miles an hour to the southwest. That's the information we're getting here from our report. So west, yeah. So that seems to me the points in the direction of turn 3, I believe. So you get a tailwind heading down the backstretch and a headwind heading up to the front stretch. We'll see how that how that shapes up. How that will influence the driver's decision making. Turn 3 is usually usually the safer place to pass out of the two. I've seen more issues crop up as drivers try to overtake the turn 1 more often than not. So we'll see if that influences their decision to attempt overtakes in the race.
Yeah, I think that might be a decent factor, especially in the turn 3, which turn 3 and 4 here are usually pretty decent spots to pass your opponent. We usually see a lot of passing at turn 3 and 4 here, so I think the weather in general might be a little bit of a factor here. The temperature is, I believe, 89 degrees Fahrenheit, which I think will affect the tire wear. I think that's going to heat up the track, and it's going to end up making tire wear be maybe a bigger factor than usual here, which it usually already is a factor given the track it's got some history on it. So I think tire strategy is going to be a big focus here as well.
Yeah, I mean that's probably going to be a factor, as is kind of often the case in Cup Series races. We've seen fuel strategy become a common sight in races here in Indy, so that's definitely something to pay attention to, maybe, especially if the race does turn out to be a little bit stop and start at the beginning of the race. We might see cars start picking and choosing their strategies, try to optimize their track position based on the kind of runs that show up under green. Taking a note now, moving on now, I should say, let's take a look at two things, we should say, our in-season tournament bracket, the first round of which commencing today here at the Brickyard 400, and we'll see how that looks with relation to our starting lineup. If we're looking at our front row, it's Angeli Rugatino and Janet Parkings, 96 and the 72. Let's take a look at where they are in the matchups here. I believe Rugatino, they're both fairly low seeds today in the matchup. They're 31st and 30th respectively. Rugatino facing off against a fellow Ford driver, the one of Alicia Vancy, second seeded, who starts on the other side of the field, inside of row 17. That would be 33rd place, while Parkings and the 72, 30th seed, faces off against the 93 of Irina Tosima, who's the third seed, starting on the outside of row 16, 32nd. So, that's two matchups where the lower seeded driver is starting well ahead of the higher seeded one. And again, with the prevalence of incidents at the beginning of the race, that might set up the opportunity for some spectacular upsets to happen early on.
Yeah, I think especially the start of the race is going to be a point we're really going to have to look at, where a lot of these drivers are starting on the outside. That's going to be kind of a interesting position to put yourself in. We've seen drivers kind of lag behind starting on the outside, and Janet Parkings, as we were just talking about, is starting on the outside of Rugatino, and I feel like depending on how she gets that jump, she's either going to fall behind, or she's going to kind of just pace herself well enough to actually just push herself back into single file and get back on the inside, and not fall back and get freight trained. I with the bracket, this is going to make things more competitive, and I think we're going to see some people kind of be a little, some of the drivers be a little bit of sloppy, a little bit tense here. The nerves are definitely going to be high given the situation we're in with the points in the bracket. We're getting really close to with playoffs here.
Yeah, looking at the rest of our starting lineup, especially in the top 10, you see a couple drivers who aren't in the in-season tournament starting up front. You see on the insides of row 3 and 4 are Reister and Tolerone. Those are two cars who aren't in the tournament, who were below, below 32nd place at the time of qualifications, meaning that they're not partaking in this. Interesting to see them starting up front. A couple of more matchups where drivers matched up against each other are starting fairly close together. The 9th and 24th seeded drivers, Nihil and Carly Byrne are starting fairly close to each other at the back of the field. Carly Byrne starting on the inside of row 19, and Nihil rounding out the field in 40th place right there. I believe there's another pair of drivers out back. It would be 14th and 19th seeded Happeman and Tulberson starting 36th and 35th respectively. Those are two drivers starting, I believe, on the the same. No, they are. That's row 18. Yeah, that's two drivers on the same row who are facing each other off, facing against each other in the bracket right there. And I think there's one more to look at. It's the 6th and 27th seeds. 62 of Vukovic, 6th seeded, starting 16th. That would be the outside of row 8. And the 27th seeded Yania Waterton, that's car number 13, starting one position behind on the inside of row 9, 17th place. Lots of drivers there to look out for. A lot of our higher seeded drivers are starting near the back of the field. Looking at the top 5 seeds. Look at the top 5 seeds here. Davidson's in the top, made the top 10, starting in 10th place. Arena also made the top 10 shootout. Yanaga was 8th seeded, also made it. But then you see the rest of, say, the top 8 seeders, so they're mostly starting at the very back of the field. See Vebel starting 34th, that's a 5th seed. Our 6th seed is starting 16th. Our 7th seed starting 28th. So a lot of drivers that are seated fairly high are starting well at the back. Not to mention, of course, the one that we've already touched upon, the one of Alicia Vancy, seated second, starting all the way back in 33rd with her matchup on pole position. So lots of interesting situations here that might be affected by some of the early race shenanigans that we might see.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the higher seated drivers starting further back might be some sort of strategy to try and avoid some of the possible collisions or any accidents we might see from more so the middle of the field. Maybe they feel safer starting way out in the back, trying to avoid some contact. It could be something like that. I think it is interesting that a decently seated racer here, Mika Harina, is in row 4, though. I'm not sure whether she just performed really well or didn't agree with the strategy with some of the other high-seated racers, but she is in row 4.
I mean, Harina has been one of the best drivers in the last few weeks, so she's riding a real momentum high. Obviously, that's something to look out for. But then again, we can say the same about some of our other drivers. Davidson's been excellent. Of course, in the 22, but so has Felicia Vancy, and she's starting out back.
Yeah.
So, obviously, lots of racing to come. But knowing the characteristics of this track and the way it races, or especially early on in the race, it's definitely going to be intriguing to see how many of those drivers, of our higher seated drivers that are starting out back, are able to make their way up to the front early on here, and we'll probably figure this out fairly early.
I think we will, and another driver starting way out back in row 16 is Tosma. I think she is a driver also who is, decently seated, starting way out back. I feel like Vebels, Tosma, and Vancy could just kind of drive their way through the field in the middle of the race, and we've seen them do that before, and I could see them easily doing it again here. It would not surprise me at all. I really think it's more so of a... It might be some sort of strategy that maybe they didn't want to qualify in towards the front of the field.
Yeah. Well, with that, I think it's time to hand things over to the booth now. It'll be Caleb Rose joining our usual main commentator Echo in the booth here for the Brickyard 400. Hope you enjoy the show, and we'll see you later on in the race for the mid-race report and hopefully the post-race show as well.
And welcome to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway here in beautiful Indianapolis, Indiana. For 160 laps here for the Brickyard 400, one of the biggest races of the season. I'm joined tonight by Caleb Rose. Caleb, I feel like you've been to this track before, but I can't remember if that's 100% correct. Can you confirm that? And also, what do you think you'll be expecting tonight?
Honestly, I can't really remember that either, but yeah, I'm definitely glad to be up here, and I think it's definitely going to be a very fun race tonight. Indianapolis, definitely a very unique racetrack, just to say the least, but it's a very technical racetrack, and just a very technical race in general, kind of like how we see with all the other series that come to this track. So yeah, I think this will definitely be a very interesting race. Of course, considering the time frame we are in the season, and with all the other factors going on, including the in-season tournament, which is starting here today, that'll definitely be something interesting to watch out for. But yeah, definitely ought to be a very fun race. Of course, I definitely expect strategy to be a factor here in this one. That'll be probably one of the big factors that plays into today's race. But regardless of what goes down, it's definitely going to be a very interesting one here from the Brickyard. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, and especially with these drivers having a tailwind going into turn 3, which is kind of where we've seen a little bit of trouble happen. Turns 3 and turn 1 going into those corners were the big trouble spots in practice. So we'll be seeing a lot of chaotic racing here tonight, but I think we'll also be seeing some very fun racing. All right, let's go through our starting grid here today from Indianapolis. Row 1, it's Angeli Rugatino sitting on the pole for her first pole of the season. She's alongside Janet Parkings on that front row, a couple drivers who are very low seated in the in-season tournament, making up the front row. Row 2 is Yenfi Yanaga in the 46 alongside the 23 of Yappy Malikson, comes in second in points. Row 3 is the 17 Dura Reister in the 92 of Michele Yatica. Row 4 is the 15 of Tabrizia Tolarum and the 34 of Mika Harina, who's won the last 2 races. She's trying to go 3 in a row. We haven't seen 3 in a row pan out yet. It's come close, but we'll be following that storyline all day for Harina as well. Row 5, the 10, Audie Stoneman, and the 22 of Andrea Davison. Row 6 is the 52, Rachel Cole, and the 32 of Cinlia Rariston. Row 7 is the 18, Perry Alicantes, and the 42 of Mika Gennaro. Row 18, the 38 of Youngwei Ku, the 62 of Halas Yukovic. Row 9 is the 13 of Yania Waterton, who won at Kentucky, and the 8 of Lowry Schliesenbach. Row 10, the 98, Ava Ajarsaraj, and the 71 of Abby Little. Row 11, the 91, Alicia Byrne, and the 55, Bria Delade. Row 12 is the 21 of Amani Wandayo, and the 26 of Sophie Chantaze. Row 13, last week's runner-up, Mimi Barino, is alongside the 2 of Isa Ijavida. Row 14, the 20 of DeGabby Gabriella, and the 19 of Arlen Handstrom. Row 15 is the 60 of Amory-Wesco, and the 27 of Nietzsche Garnston. Row 16, the 82, Pace Lanuria, and the 93, Irina Tosima. Row 17, the 1 of Alicia Vancy, and the 99, Marisha Vebelst. Row 18, the 39, Lily Talberson, and the 31 of Taylor Happeman. Row 19 is the 9 of Carly Byrne, and the 16 of Sky and Jetta. And in the back of row 20, the 6 of Jamie McJasmina, and the 64 of Jocelina Nihale. 160 laps here, uniquely shaped track, unique strategy we may see. You know, what else we may see is a lot of carnage in this one, but we'll have to see what these drivers do and how they'll take that start of the race, because, well, really anything can happen here. It's going to be very draft dependent as well. Do you get an idea of what do you think the keys to performing in this race are going to be?
Like you said, I think draft is definitely going to be a big factor in today's race. Of course, you got the very long straightaways and pretty high top speeds that you will get, especially down the backstretch, like you said, with that tailwind going into turn number 3. So yeah, I think that's definitely going to play into a big factor. And of course, also, like I mentioned, strategy, I think, is definitely going to be quite a factor in this race, because like I said, it's a very technical racetrack, and strategy could potentially make or break your race here. So that'll definitely be something to watch out for as well. And also just where you put the car around this racetrack. The inside lane is where you want it to be, but just with how this track is set up, it takes a bit of a toll on your car. So you need to be careful around this racetrack and keep that car planted on the inside, because that is going to be where you want it to be.
We saw both lines kind of working decently well in practice, but the inside looks to be the best spot if you're going to make a pass. Pace car rolls off, and these cars are underway. We're going to get to the green flag very shortly, but this track has a pretty long even for a half pace lap here, just because it's so huge, 2.5 miles. Last time we haven't raced an oval this size since Pocono, really. As the pace car gets rolling, Rugatino and Parkings will lead them to the green. And we will be keeping tabs on that in-season tournament bracket as well throughout the day, alongside our regular racing action as well. Rugatino and Parkings will roll up. Green flag is out, and we're racing in Indianapolis. Already taking it 3 wide. Amani Wandayo was in the back, but you see Angeli Rugatino got a great jump on that start. Got Parkings up to second. Yanaga in third. So far it's all shuffled out, but they're getting all over the place. Further back as Parkings looks to the inside into turn 3.
Like grass. Oh boy.
Some cars might have just ticked the grass, but that'll just happen around here sometimes. First lap complete without incident. As Angeli Rugatino, the driver from Colorado Springs, Colorado, leads the way for the first time around this track.
Already seeing a lot of aggressive moves here in the early laps of the race. All these drivers know that this is a racetrack where you can get spread out relatively quickly, even with that draft in place. So everybody already trying to go for what they can here in these early stages while everybody is still bunched up. We got a lot of 3 wide throughout this field. We got some back there towards, I think, maybe around the 15th, 20th or so position, but a lot of movement going on here throughout this field in the early stages. Luckily, they've all kept it clean here so far, but we got a big battle for the lead here brewing up.
And Malikson and Reister, and around goes the 23! In front of the field, Yanaga gets tapped. Several cars having to slow up. Abriella and Schliesenbach. There's a car upside down back there. Bria DeLaude. I think they kind of got jammed up a little bit. And a lot of cars had to slow up. Fair few cars. That looks like about 7 or 10 cars involved in that one. Maybe a little more. The 23 went spinning across the whole field.
That could be the nature of this track sometimes, especially on these starts and restarts while everybody is still bunched together. We've seen just how aggressive all these drivers are willing to be here in these opening laps. Unfortunately, it just boiled over a little bit too early there. That's a tough break for everyone involved.
Yeah, I think Reister just gets into Malikson there. Reister got into Malikson. They're going 3 wide. They were all going for the spots, and turn 1's going to be the best spot. Turn 1's just a little bit better arrow-wise if you're on the inside than turn 3 is. But sometimes they just get a little too aggressive and it costs them. We'll take a look at it. These cars will drive by pit road. I'm not sure if they'll make pit stops yet here. Looks like they're all going to come down pit road. Except for the 52 of Rachel Cole. She will actually stay out. Looks like the 93 is going to stay out here as well.
Some bold strategy calls there.
Yeah, I don't think it's a terrible call, especially when we've only run, what, 4 laps? Might as well get that track position while you can. Might as well get that track position while you can. But that incident, we will keep tabs on how that affects the bracket. So Ijavida, the 2 car, was not in the bracket as far as I remember. 23 was in the bracket, and she was against the 32. I believe the 32 is still going. Although I'm not 100%. Yeah, there she is. Okay, so that means Rariston will advance against Malikson. Reister wasn't in the bracket. Yatica was in the bracket against the 19. See if I could find the 19. Looks like the 19 also was involved, though.
Right now being scored in 40th, too. I'll have to see if they can get that car back out there.
If Handstrom gets back going, then that could help, but I don't see that 19 getting back going. That would actually mean the 92 would advance against the 19. Talberson is out. AWSCO is done for the day as well. Looks like Delade, Chantaze, and Yoniga are all still sitting on pit road.
Guess they're seeing if they can get those cars repaired, but we'll have to see if that actually does end up coming to fruition.
They might also be being towed here.
That could definitely be true as well.
So the 17 goes into turn 1 here. Malik's is just not clear. Tolerone. I think they spun back behind. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I think they spun separately behind this.
Pile up behind that first accident. Oh my goodness.
Oh, it's the same thing. Chantaze. That's where Talberson's involvement is. That was 2 separate incidents that happened at the same time. Well, in the same spot, not exactly at the same time. So yes, the 19 is out. So the 19 and 92 have a battle of... They both wrecked out early, so that matchup's already been decided. We know Yatica and Handstrom. That will result in the 92 advancing. I mean, I guess wrecking and advancing anyways is one way as the 42 pulls low.
Really an issue there. Let's see maybe what's wrong with that car.
We'll see if we can get a report on that. But right now, Rigatino won the race off pit road, but she will not be the leader. Rachel Cole will be the leader instead. 28 cars still in this race. Ellie, you got a word from the 42?
Yeah, so from what we're hearing, the 42's brakes went down. Some kind of issue just messed with the braking on her car.
Very unfortunate.
Yeah, definitely a tough situation there, because especially at a track like these, you kind of need those things working at full capacity.
I actually have another dual retirement matchup, the 8 and the 26. Schliesenbach and Chantaze. Schliesenbach, and they both went out, although I believe the 8 actually went out for some kind of tire issue. Schliesenbach will still advance over Chantaze, though, because of that. Victorious, the 55 being out will move... The 55 being out will move Marisha Velst on. The 46 out will move Pace Laniria on. 39 out will move Taylor Happeman on, and the 60 out will move Audie Stoneman on, regardless of what happens here. So, those few drivers can rest assured that they don't have to be too aggressive, although Stoneman is still one of those drivers who is yet to win this season, so she may still want to go for a win. Same for Paceland Yuria in the 82, actually, although I think Yuria may have had some involvement in the incident as well. Yeah, it definitely looks like it. Looking at the rear end of that car. Alright, pace car is about to pull off, and we will get back to green flag racing. Actually, yeah, the 82 is scored 1 lap down right now, but... Heading back to green flag racing here from Indy. Rachel Cole is the leader. Green flag is back out.
Good restart there from our top two.
They got away from Mugatino a fair bit. 15 of Toleron running without a hood here.
Not out of a hood.
Kind of holding up this group. See multiple cars looking down to the inside. Mugatino and Parkings both trying to dive down in turn 3. Not going to happen, though, and here comes the 10 of Stoneman trying to take third away.
Stoneman's definitely in a pretty precarious spot coming into this point of the season. Like you mentioned, still looking to find a victory lane and right on the outside looking in of the postseason, so needs a good run here at Indy. Potentially a win to lock herself in, and she's doing a good job here so far as a 93. Gonna go to the race lead, but Stoneman right on the back bumper.
Tosima takes it away from Cole here. Into turn 1, the 93 got a great run off at turn number 4 and managed to make that work. Stoneman takes second away. We've had a bit of a break in the pack here. About 10 or so cars have kind of gotten away, then it's kind of spreading out a little bit back behind. Mika Harina, who was damaged in that early incident, as Taylor Happeman comes down pit road. Mika Harina was damaged in that early incident, as here comes Audie Stoneman in the 10 car. Trying to take the lead away from Tosima. And she will do it, she's clear.
Stoneman clears for the lead off of turn number 2. Here comes the 52. Rachel Cole all over the back bumper of the 93. The 13. Waters it almost into the grass down the back straightaway. Almost pulling a Tony Kanon. Staying to the inside going into turn number 3. Unfortunately, that kind of killed her momentum going into the corner, but that was certainly a aura-filled hype moment right there.
Yeah, no kidding. Waterton going all the way down to the bottom of the track there. Got 3 wide going on back here with Vancy and Vebelst.
Boy.
Not sure how Vebelst didn't get in a wreck, but... that one, I guess, will be explained later, as this group is kind of caught back up. That group behind the top 10 is kind of caught back up to this group as Taylor Happeman merges into the field again. In the 31 car. Audie Stoneman out front now, but Tosima's right on her back bumper. We'll see if Tosima tries to pull anything off here. Seeing kind of some mix-ups going on back here. Cindy Rariston, Andrea Davison.
Attempted move there going into turn number 1. Didn't quite work out. Our top 4 is honestly kind of
breaking away a little bit.
Gap to 5th on back. But they are starting to kind of go at it with each other now, so that could, and it looks like it will, draw these guys back in.
Parkings looks low on Jukovic. Now Parkings and Tosima are against each other in the bracket as well. That's the 3:30 matchup. And that's not the time, that is the seeds. They're catching the 82 of Yuria very quickly. That 82 is not very fast at all right now as Tosima looks down to the inside on Stoneman.
Side for the lead once again. Stoneman on the outside, Tosima on the inside.
They're going to stay side by side off turn 2.
Just barely stayed at the quarter panel there through 2.
They're going to snake it down.
Rigatino's going to
Three
try
wide.
to get in on this. 3 wide.
That's not going to work for Rigatino, though.
Rigatino's going to back out.
And Tosuma and Stoneman are going to stay side by side here, although I think Tosuma may have the advantage coming off turn number 4. Well, she definitely will now because they're catching the lap car.
Look out.
Yeah, I lied. Stoneman didn't get pinned behind the 82 there. Oh, be careful, be careful, be careful. That somehow worked. I don't know how Jukovic made that work, but it worked.
They were leaning on each other there off of turn number 2. I'm very surprised that wasn't a wreck, but they somehow managed to hold on to it once again. But they're still looking 3 wide going into 3.
Stoneman, I think, has the advantage here. And yes, the 10 will hold on to second. As Jukovic is losing several spots. She went for second, and she's going to drop back to about 8th here. I think she's actually going to drop to 7th.
There through turn 4, and that killed her momentum.
As Stoneman has gone in the lead right back from Tosuma.
It's been a great battle up for the race lead, and honestly kind of a delight to see.
Yeah, this is a track we kind of didn't expect to see a lot of racing for the lead. And we're seeing a lot of great battling up front so far. And one of those tracks that has a reputation for it being hard to pass here, but it's so far it's kind of proved the opposite.
Seen a lot of great battles so far in this race, a lot of shuffling as well. And it's definitely, so far, panning out to be a lot different from what I expected, but hey, definitely excited to see how the rest of this race will play out. But here in the early stages, it's definitely been a very interesting race, and like I said, definitely a lot different. Like I was saying, it was going to be a very technical race. It was going to be really spread out, and well, the field as a whole is relatively spread out. We do have all these kind of little packs of all these little battles, which is definitely very interesting to see. But so far, definitely a fun start to this race, and we're still not done battling as 60 tried to take a peek there going into 3, didn't quite work out, and starting to kind of bunch back together up towards the front as well.
I think that's something that's also kind of keeping the racing very good as well, as these packs are kind of split up a little bit, but not split up too much. These cars have enough room to generate momentum on each other as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a total, bunch them up like a super speedway. They kind of have the room to get runs on each other and make moves. We've seen him snake down the backstretch and the front stretch quite a bit this race too. There's someone tried to take a look underneath Rachel Cole there, but no can do. This race is starting to calm down a little bit. As these top 10 have mostly single-filed out here. But further back into this group, though, this is where a little bit more chaos is going on. For those bracket battles that are still in play, Davison is ahead of Little. Davison is 6th, Little is 14th. Nihale against Carly Byrne. The 9 is 16th, the 64 is 21st. See Waterton going around Davison here. The 34 against the 6, as we see Tosuma now making a look for second here. The 34 against the 6 is actually really close. There it is right there.
Oh. Ooh, they're banging doors there going into turn 1.
And we are going all over the place. Almost 4 wide there.
Single file just a couple laps to go, but things are heating back up here towards the front. Almost had 3 wide there down the back straightaway. The top 3 trying to pull away, but this is... They've got to bit of a, I guess, lap car minefield ahead of them. They're going to catch the 82 again and a couple of other cars that might look a little bit off the pace in front of them as well. So
It looks to
this
be
could for sure
the 15,
this
the
should
15,
sure
16,
become
and
a 40 chess
42.
game in front of them.
15, 16, and 42 look like those are the cars that are kind of in that slower group. And Jeddah and Alicante is the 16 and 18. The 18 is in 18th. The 16 is in 25th as they catch the 82 in a very, very precarious spot. That 82 is not fast, but she's just trying to get some points here. Oh, I don't think Vebels is going to be happy about that.
Yeah, Vebels is not going to be happy about that.
As parking starts to look 3 wide into turn 1. Be careful.
Watch out.
Well, they weren't careful, but they still managed to keep it. Tosima takes second away. They catch the 15 at Tolaron. And Cole's going to kind of get pinned a little bit.
Quite a bit. Oh boy.
Now they catch the 16. The 10 car had to slow up the 16.
A very opportune time to catch her.
The 27 and 91 is still at play. However, the 91 is pretty well off the pace, and the 27 is still in 11th right now. The 1 and 96, I believe, is still in play as well as...
Oh, my goodness.
Cole and Rugatino make contact. Well, it wasn't. Well, it's still in play. For lack of trying to keep it out of play here. Obviously, the 93 and 72 is at play, and again, those two are right next to each other right now. 62 and 13, I believe, is in play as well, and they're pretty close to each other on track as well.
They're pretty close to each other.
And what, 52-98 is at play as well.
Are really close to each other on track.
And Parkings looks to the inside on Tosima for second. Audie Stoneman still holds the lead. For Audie Stoneman, it's kind of been one of those things where she hasn't exactly run bad. She's run pretty well. Just, she's had some terrible luck with mechanical issues throughout the season. I think it was at a Lausitring a few weeks ago where she was leading the race and blew up. She had mech failures at Motegi while leading. She had issues last week at Echo Energy International Speedway. Granted, she wasn't leading there, but still had issues. As they look 3 wide for the lead this time.
Boy.
Parkings, Tosima trying to get underneath Stoneman. And they're going to take it from the 10. But it's these two that are still fighting to figure out which one wants the lead. I think it's going to end up being the 93, though.
Going to turn number 3. These battles we've seen so far today have been absolutely incredible. We're just 25 laps into the race.
Oh, absolutely.
My goodness.
Tosima's got the lead back, but for how long? The 10's going right for it again.
Stoneman's been really fast so far this race, and like you said, they've been fast pretty much about all season long, just been plagued by bad luck and mechanical failures. And looking for another good run here today and hoping to potentially flip the script of what has happened to her consistently throughout this season. So it'd be a big win for Stoneman if she could finally break free from all the bad luck she's had and pull one off.
I mean, not even just that, just to win at Indianapolis would be even bigger than that. We saw how emotional Mika Haurina was a couple weeks ago when she took that win at Motegi, her home track, in her home country. Stoneman, I'm sure, would love to do the same. This is a track that everybody wants to win at. Stoneman slips to third here, as Rugatino has taken second away. Gennaro in the 42 getting lapped here, although I'm not sure that... I think that 42 may have some decent pace.
I'm pretty sure they were only sidelined with the brake issues. So.
Yes. Fighting for second.
Still have some decent pace.
She might. She can hold on to if she can hold on to at the free pass position, and we would get another yellow, that would definitely be a big help for that 42. So they're going to catch the 82 once again. Oh dear, and they're going to catch her at a really...
That was a terrible time.
Yeah, that was not good. Not at all. Checked up the entire pack. So they're all getting back up to speed. Here comes the 10 of Stoneman. And Stoneman may actually...
trading the lead back and forth like a game of hot potato.
Stoneman, I think, may actually end up getting the lead back here in turn 3, which is not something we've seen work out very much today. I think it kind of has to do with the...
a bit of an oddity.
Yeah. It might just have to do more so with how, you know, they were accelerating back up from a lower speed, but still. Rugatino has taken second. Parkings is going to go for third. You got Cole trying to take fourth. Tosima's not having a great time here, although she is going to hang on to third.
Again, she has her bracket competitor right in her mirror.
Yep. And still a good chunk of cars are in this at least within about 10 seconds of the lead. They're still kind of just hanging on. And I think, you know, maybe we'll see with a little bit of pit stop shuffling, maybe a caution, maybe a caution. We could see some cars get up into forward a few spots. Like we could see some of those cars that are towards that second group manage to make their way up into this, like in this group here. You'd see some cars from this group kind of climb their way up through here if they can get lucky with some good pit stops, or maybe a yellow at an opportune time. Rugatino went to look on the 10 car, but Tosima got to her inside first. You know, we pitted on lap 4. Pitted around lap 4 or 5. We've got fuel window here's about 40 laps or so. A little under that. I think it's closer to 36. So if we keep going under this pace right now, we may actually see a set of green flag pit stops. And an early set of green flag stops in the race, too. Tosima to the inside again for the lead. These two have been trading the lead back and forth. It's been really fun to watch these two going at it.
These two just cannot seem to get away from one another. Arguably, I would say the two best cars we've seen so far here today from Indianapolis. Have to see if they can continue this speed as the race goes along, but they are both definitely looking fast right now. The 72 tried to peak 3 wide going into turn 3. Unfortunately, didn't quite work out.
It's not going to work out, and actually,
trying to go by on the outside.
Tosima's going to lose second. Here comes Rugatino now.
Yeah.
The 96 is taking second away. And now we'll see if the 96 actually...
So far this race as well.
We'll see if Rugatino is able to make the pass for the lead work here. See if she can get back to the front for the first time since the start of the race, really. It looks like she'll be able to pull it off. And the 96 back out front here. She will get clear. And again, we're seeing that those cars that stayed out, not a really a bad move by Tosima or Cole at all to stay out there. On that caution flag, only 4 laps have been run, so pretty good strategy call, I'd say. Stoneman looking back to the inside on the 96.
Try and take the lead back once again. Side by side through turn 1. Stoneman will have the advantage and will clear going into turn number 2. See, no, Rugatino can't get back down to the inside. Here comes a 93 with a good run there to the inside going through turn 2. Anson now down the back straightaway. Might even get to the inside of the 10. You're going into turn number 3.
She got a great push, but she's not going to manage to make it stick. I thought Tosuma might have been able to at least slide into second there, but not able to do it as Rugatino goes right back to the inside as they're catching these lappers again. The lappers are side by side in front of them.
Trying to use 82 as a pick.
Yeah, but she's going to have to check up for that 15.
She's going to go around the outside of the 15. Oh, this could get interesting. It's going to hold everybody up.
Except for the 10.
10's going to get a huge lead after this, but these guys...
I'm not sure you want a big lead, though. I'm not sure you want a big lead, though.
They'll be all bunched up. They're going to have the draft off of one another, so... I'll have to see how this ends up panning out.
And see, another thing is, Gennaro in that 42 car, she has actually managed to maintain with this group. So she's not slow. She's just kind of stuck a lap down right now. But she's not really slow, just kind of mired in a bad position. They've caught right back up to that 10 car, so...
They got right back up.
'93 and 52 may be looking at pitting very soon here. Remember, they didn't pit with everybody else, so they may be on a bit of a different fuel cycle. They may try to make it go as long as they can to keep with these cars, but they probably will still have to end up having to pit a little earlier. As you see the 96 go to the inside again. You see the 72 and the 93 getting really close there.
Pinch. Big pinch to the inside. Of battling once again up here towards the front of the field as everybody does get bunched back together after getting by that couple of lapped cars there.
96 made the inside lane work there as well, although now the 93 got a big run off of turn number 4 here. She'll grab second back from Rugatino. Catching the 16 again of Sky and Jetta. They're going 3 wide here, although
3 wide.
That actually split out. They keep looking 3 wide, although I'm not sure. Oh dear.
Oh boy.
Parkings. God, the Parkings has been trying to use the grass a little too much, I think. See how long they can make the fuel last.
I don't really know what it is about 3 and 4, but just the grip on the inside lane through those 2 corners is gone. 1 and 2, it definitely seems like it is there, as the inside lane is ripping throughout 1 and 2, but 3 and 4, it just does not work.
Oh dear, that was very close. I'm not sure if the 10.
Goodness.
I'm not sure if the 10 touched the 16 or not there, but
certainly was close, at the very least.
They had to dive all the way down to the bottom of the track to get by that 16. They're trying to find whatever grip they can in 3 and 4 because it's just not working out for them. So I think we may be seeing, yep, 93's pitting.
Yep, here we go.
Here comes Tosuma in, so she'll be the first car to pit. And look at this group. This group is actually caught up as well, so we've kind of got a 16-car lead group here. Although that may end up getting split. That may end up getting split up by pit stops. Kostima's come down pit road. Looks like it's just a standard 4 tires and fuel stop for her. Curious to see
what everybody else does come down.
I believe Cole's going to come in
no,
here.
I think the 52 is coming down.
52's in. 52 is in.
Yep.
So here comes Rachel Cole. That's, again, not surprising. Remember, she stayed out. So she's got a little less fuel in the tank than everybody else. Kostima's exiting pit road now.
I'll have to see when everybody else does like to come down pit road.
Stoneman still leading the way. Rugatino sitting in second. Parkings and Davison make up third and fourth. Rariston is fifth. Youngway Koo is sixth. Waterton, Vevelst, Yukovic, and Garnston are the rest of the top 10. These cars once again will approach the lapper of the 82 here. Rugatino had to slow up a little bit. 72 had to slow up a lot.
A lot. Oh my goodness, this is really gonna bunch everybody
That's
up.
stacked up all these cars. And that may end up dragging this group to these top 3 that have kind of broken away a little bit. Sidney Rariston's now taking the lead of that group. Mika Harina and DeGabriella. These two are off the pace, but not terribly off the pace. They're not losing that much time. They've only lost about, 4 seconds in the last, 20 laps I've been checking on them, so... They seem to be doing okay. Now, because we're in the pit cycle, those bracket looks are going to be a little bit skewed. 93 and 52 are a lap down right now. See the 98 of a Jarsaraj has come down pit road. Looks like the 10's coming in, I believe.
Cycle. It looks like it will.
10 is in. Oh, I see a lot of cars coming in back here. Waterton, Vebels, Garnston, Koo, Little, Carlyburn, Alicantes are all in. This is a really difficult pit road. It's extremely narrow.
This track is definitely notably famous for.
Yeah, this is it's I would say it's 1900s level narrow, but that would just be true. Looks like Rugatino's coming in, so Davidson's going to be the last car here to stay out an extra lap. 42, I think, is also going to stay out an extra lap. Ten cars off, so we'll see where she cycles out in comparison to the 93 and the 52. These cars have been on fresh tires for a bit, but I'm not sure how much fresh tires matters here. They're drafting each other, the 93 and the 52 are. They're not going to cycle out particularly well at all, actually. These cars have kind of overcut them a little bit. .42 of Gennaro's come in. There's where the 10 is. The 22 is on pit road. Is the 22 on pit road? Yes, she is. Okay, I see her. And now with the pack that Rugatino was leading, how will they cycle out compared to the 10? Looks like Rugatina will cycle out ahead. But this pack is gonna end up kind of... The group here is gonna end up probably ending up... when they start drafting off each other, they're gonna bunch up again. And it's gonna result in, well, pretty much the same thing we've been seeing the last little bit. Although, probably on a bit of a shorter scale. 22 is exiting pit road. She was the last car on the lead lap that hadn't pitted yet. We're seeing the 10 and the 96 have gotten away a little bit, but you've got a big group of fast cars back here. Still getting through the 42 cycling out. They're catching the 22. And they're going to go 3 wide for the race lead.
3 wide.
Ooh. That was the finish of the race. That would have been generational.
Be careful going into 1. I'll have to careful. Alright.
They hung on to it. Stoneman now to the inside on Rugatino.
And a lot of shakeups definitely under that pit cycle. You got the top 3 in kind of a breakaway from the rest of the field. You have the 93 lose a bit of ground there under that pit cycle. But, yeah, like you said, once everybody does kind of find their footing and start drafting off of each other, I would definitely expect the pack to kind of condense back together once again, especially considering there's just 3 cars up there for the race lead. You got a lot of guys bunched up together behind them, so
And this
definitely expect them to close as this run does go along.
this second group here kind of just sitting back for a little bit. And I would expect this group to start closing in, although we'll have to monitor their lap times. But they are running a little bit faster lap times. They actually ran about a second faster than all of these cars. This the lead car the second group did, with Rairston leading it. I think it may be safe to say that it would probably be very unlikely that we see a Mika Harina go 3 in a row today. That car is pretty well off the pace. She's just kind of hanging on right now. As this group now catches the 82.
Very unopportune time.
And that is going to be the worst for Stoneman.
That's going to send Stoneman back to the second pack.
Yes, it is. That may be a benefit for her, though.
Well, how about 4 wide? Down the
They're
back
4
stretch.
wide, trying to get by the lap car. That's a choice. And so Stoneman now leads this group.
Look, they were able to get into that 4 wide situation before going into turn number 3. We've seen so far here today that even 3 wide can definitely be a bit of a bold move, so 4 wide. I can only imagine how that would end up.
I will say, I think it's rather remarkable. We've only had the one caution to talk about so far. This track is usually quite chaotic, and these cars really, a lot of the drivers tend to get a little overly antsy when trying to make moves, but today we haven't really seen that. We've only seen the one yellow. They've all been able to make moves very solidly and very cleanly. We've seen a lot of really good racing today.
Absolutely.
And this group gained what? About half a second there on the top 2.
Little going on, it's not necessarily going to help their pace, though.
Little and Vebels back here. I like to point out, keep in mind that Little and Davison is at play. That's the 132 battle. It's not exactly out of the question for the 71 here, because she's in the top 10 right now.
Yeah. I mean, look right behind the 71. You have the 93 and 72 going at it once again.
Yeah.
They just can't seem to get away from one another.
And we've got some drivers who aren't even in the these battles up here towards the front. You see Amani Wandayo didn't even make it into the in-season tournament, but she's running 6th. It's been a really good day for Red Racing, aside from the 23's issues.
For third.
Rarison wants it, but she's not going to get it. They're starting to close up again.
These four are really in our top 2 right now. The Vebelston back where they were kind of battling, held them up quite a bit.
Oh, and 22 into the inside of the 96.
Boy.
And that's just going to bring them right to them. And actually, I think that may be a little bit of a plan there, because that puts the teammate of the 22 right behind. That's Stoneman, right behind the 22 there.
Rigatino got a great run there on the outside.
Yeah, Rigatino held on pretty well. They're actually going to slot back in, but that's brought the 10 in. That brought the 32 and 13 and 21 in here. And this lead group is increased in size to 6 cars.
Just like that, we now got a 6-car battle for the lead,
and we may have half those.
About 3 wide.
Half those cars are going to go for it right now. Oh,
watch out. All right. And they've definitely been antsy in some points of this race, but it definitely has been a surprise that they have kept it caution-free so far since that first accident.
Yeah. I'm relatively surprised about that.
Someone making the inside work a little bit there.
Davison has the lead now. Rugatino, Stoneman, Rariston, Waterton, Wandayo, and Vebels. This group led by the 99 is closing, actually. And I think that may partially be due to the fact that they were going 3 wide for the lead. Rugatino right back to the lead. She's taking it away from Stoneman. Or from Davison, excuse me. They're catching this 20 of DeGabi Gabriella, another lap car. And that's going to drag this lap. That's going to drag the Vebels pack into this.
To make the lead pack even bigger, it looks like, and this is going to be interesting. I believe this is the first time they have lapped a 20 car all day. So
yes,
one of the cars that's off the pace, that's more on the pace. I guess I would say, if that makes any sense. But we'll have to see if the 20 car can maybe at least hold a steady pace in the draft. And I mean, honestly, right now it doesn't look too bad.
She's holding on fine. At some point, they'll shuffle her. We saw it happen with the 42 as well, but at some point, they'll probably get that 20 shuffled back. The 82 stays high here, same with the 16. The 20's doing a pretty solid job holding on, though.
Definitely might be struggling a little bit with that damage, probably especially with the aerodynamics of that car. But
yeah, she may just need a little draft.
Oh boy, 3 wide again.
Oh, car blowing up. That's the 27 Nietzsche Garnston. And she was up against the 91 in the bracket, and the 91, I believe, is still in the race. So that will move Alicia Byrne on to the next round in that very case. Gabriella's not being very kind as a lap car here.
Like I was saying, well, it definitely seems like might be struggling a little bit with the aerodynamics of that car. It doesn't necessarily seem like it's really down on power, so...
Well, that and also, I mean, another thing here, in the draft, aerodynamics just don't matter as much.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of part of what's going on with that 20 car. She's just kind of, you know, when she's out of the draft, she's not very strong. But when you're in the draft, even you still have a decently damaged car, as the 99 is off the pace of Marisha Bevels.
Bevels.
But if you're in the draft here, you could kind of get away with a decent amount of aero damage. You can't get away with too much, but you can still get away with a solid amount. Ellie.
Yeah, it looks like Garnstone and her team are reporting that she has some pretty major engine damage. More so the ignition is really what the major problem is.
Looks like she's retired from the race, so... An unfortunate way to end it for Nietzsche Garnston, who also, keep in mind, is in that mix as a driver battling for a playoff spot. She actually came in as that 20th placeholder. Davison will grab the lead from Rugatino here. See the 99 coming off pit road here. The 20 thought about going 4 wide with the lap car there.
My goodness.
That would have been absurd to go into turn 1 like that. You can get away with it a little bit on the straightaways. You cannot get away with it in the corners. So Angelique Rugatino still holds on to the lead. It's Davison after her. Then DeGari Ariel, a lap car, kind of holding up a little bit. In the middle of this pack. Raristown and Stoneman both going to try to maneuver their way around this 20 as Davison goes for the lead on Rugatino. Abby Little is sitting in 5th right now. Waterton, Tosima, Parkings, and Wandayo, the other lead lap cars in this pack, as it stands. So now for Marisha Vebels, I think this becomes a game of how do you get back on the same strategy as everybody else. Ellie.
Yeah, it looks like when Vebels was slowing down, it ended up what that problem was one of her tires actually ended up going down.
That's a very tough break for Marisha Vebels. This is a pretty gritty surface. While it doesn't wear the tires out that much, this is a surface that has a lot of ruts in it because of the way that the track was grinded out a few years ago.
2008 Brickyard surface will always come back to haunt.
Yeah, no kidding. Drive through these lap cars, and they're actually catching the 34 here. Mika Harina, winner of the last 2 races. She's about to fall a lap down.
Ooh. He's not going to go down without a fight.
Yeah, not without a fight, though. But Rugatino's going to pin her behind the 15.
Is a pick, though. Smart move there by the 96. It's going to bunch everybody
Everybody's
up
bunched up.
Yeah,
Everybody's
going
bunched up a
into one.
lot.
Oh my goodness, we got a hornet's nest. Makes contact with the 10.
The 15's holding up pretty much everybody here.
We're going to split her through the middle.
They're going to send the 15 through the middle here. That will leave these top two by themselves for now, although we'll see with this group, these cars are going to try and drive back through. It actually kind of means we have a bit of a 3-horse race for that free pass position, because the 34, 20, and 42, all cars a lap down, all in this lead pack.
31 hanging on as well.
Yeah, 31 is hanging on, although she's actually 2 laps down.
I think making things interesting though, that a couple lap cars that are with the draft able to kind of hang up here with these guys.
Yeah. I think that's another very interesting thing that we're seeing here. We're kind of seeing that, you know, even if the pack gets strung out, it can kind of string itself back together. Even if it's strung out like this, we've seen cars spread out among this distance still manage to get back to one single bunched up group. There's Audie Stoneman back there. She hasn't really gotten back to the lead yet since the rest of the pack really caught up. Rariston and Davison both trying to get around the 34. They may go 3 wide into turn number 1.
They are going to go 3 wide.
They'll live.
They keep it clean for now.
Not sure I should be mentioning.
There on the inside.
Not sure I should be mentioning living here at Indianapolis, but
oops.
There's some horror stories the FCC will find me if I talk about. Good thing we're on YouTube.
Here comes Stoneman to the inside of Little and potentially Davison.
Now that 10 car looking for third here, she'll get that spot, I believe. And yeah, this group has really, like I was talking about earlier, they were pretty well spread out. There was almost 3 seconds between the first car and the last car in this group. And they're pretty much bunched out. Also, don't look now. This second group here was about 7 seconds back just about 10 laps ago. They've actually gained about 3 seconds on the leaders. So that second group that group back there is also catching. They're actually starting to close up, and they may actually end up catching up and making this pack a little bit bigger as well. See Rariston looking to the inside of Rugatino for the lead.
Boy. This could definitely help some of the group behind to catch back up. They're catching the 82 once again.
Shouldn't be too much of an issue here. Rariston manages to hold the 34 behind her at the very least. 82 is not going to be too much trouble. Again, we're seeing now Alicia Vancy's starting to close in on this group. And that actually is another thing to key point out. Rugatino and Vancy are both in the bracket against each other. Rugatino's led quite a bit this race, but Vancy's starting to drag her way up here as well. So that's a fight that's on here in this lead group. Obviously, you have Tosma and Parkings, which is still a battle that's going on. If I had to take my wildest guess,
one car all day, but
yeah, she hasn't really said much. She hasn't really had much at the front as they have caught.
Oh my goodness!
Big chunk of lap cars. Rariston takes the lead away with help from Haurina, her teammate. Stoneman trying to get second. Davison back behind. Maybe for third. Abby Little is up here. And how about this? This is actually a battle that between Little and Davison is a bracket battle. And Little's going to take the spot now.
Go on, Ty Dillon.
The 32 seed Abby Little takes that spot away.
Let's go.
And you see the one car starting to close up here on this group as well.
3 seconds behind the leader.
3 seconds back. Little is actually going to take third away now from Stoneman. Although Davison's going to follow her. Rariston's got a couple lap cars between her and the 96 now. But it's very much bunching up through this whole group. Oh, Parkins is in the wall, and Gennaro gets into her. The 72. Oh, please be careful.
Out. Watch out. Ooh.
Caution is out.
Man, that was a big hit.
That was a big hit, and they're still racing back to the line, but that is going to be the end of the day for Janet Parkins, no doubt about it.
Absolutely. That's such a tough break for the 72, especially considering the day they've had so far in a tightly knit battle with the 93 there for that in-season tournament. Unfortunately, going to end there, getting turned to the outside wall. Really tough break there for the 72.
And we were so clean for so long, and then that's how it ended up. That will result in the 34 receiving the free pass, so Mika Haurina will get back onto the lead lap here.
Because we're approaching the mid-race break, that's why they wrecked.
Don't worry, they'll wreck again during the mid-race report.
Maybe, we'll see.
Well, I think that's a bit of a much-needed break, because we had some high-action racing for quite a while there.
Absolutely.
So, cars are coming to pit road. Unsurprisingly, we were actually approaching the beginning of the pit window. But what this will do is the 93 and the 52 now will actually be on the cycle with everybody else. So, not really sure if that's much of an advantage, but
Convenient.
it will get them back on the same cycle, and it will kind of eliminate that worry that being off cycle might have caused them to be out of cycle at the end of the race. We'll watch the race off pit road. As it appears that Cinlia Rariston will win the race out. Rugatino is going to drop out. It's going to be Abby Little who gets to second.
Abby Little up to second. How about that?
Mika Haurina will come down pit road this time, and so the 34 will line up at the tail of the field. I imagine all of these lap cars will also be coming down pit road. I don't really see why they wouldn't. Oh, it looks like one car has chosen to stay out here. That's the 42 of Meca Gennaro.
Two.
She's going to stay out and try to take the wave around here, I believe. So let's take a look and see what happens to Janet Parkins. She's battling with Meka. She's battling here. Enters the corner a bit low. Ugh. Just kind of gets nicked by the 42 there. Those cars get on the wall to miss her.
It's kind of a really tough situation. They had 72 entered really low on the racetrack. We kind of got in the grass a little bit, and just the 42 barely got him in the quarter panel and sent him up on the outside wall.
Yeah, just a tough break. Just a really unfortunate incident. I'm not really sure anybody's at fault there. That's just kind of a misjudgment on both ends there, I think. And unfortunately, we'll take Gina Parkins out of the race. And we'll take her out of the bracket as well. As the car she was battling, Arinia Tosima, still running the race, actually scored in 10th spot right now. Which, actually, ironically enough, means we do have a second round matchup that has been determined. And it's Tosima against Happeman. That will be a matchup next week in Iowa. So Rariston, Little, Stoneman, Davison, Rigatino, Wandayo, Waterton, Vancy, Carly Byrne, and Tosima is the top 10. 18 cars are scored on the lead lap. 26 are still in the race. Oh yeah, and Pace Lanieri is 10 laps down. And I imagine that number is going to go up by the end of the race. But, anything will do if you can say you finished the race. Lights are out, so we will be going green. Of the top 5 cars, only one of them does not have a race win. It's that 10 of Adi Stoneman. Wandayo is yet to win. Vancy and Carly Byrne are also all yet to win of the cars in the top 10. Four laps to halfway when we get back going. Pace car's off, and we'll get back to green. Here we go. Green flag is out, and we're back to racing. Nobody really jumping out at all here. See if that change is going into turn 3. Stoneman goes for second spot. See Rugatino making moves. Davison's looking for moves. But it's going to be Amani Wandayo who's going to
Dio.
benefit. She's going to
They
take
move on
fourth.
the outside there for the 21. It's going for third now on Stoneman.
Looked for third, but she's going to slot back in here. Meanwhile, how about Felicia Vancy? Remember the 1 and 96 are against each other in the bracket, and Vancy's caught right up to that 96.
The one car up here in this, I guess, lead battle as well. Although the top four are kind of pulled away right now. I would say this group behind will probably catch back up again if they can get lined back up. But you got the 1 battling up here. You got the 9 battling up here as well.
93 is
Definitely
here.
seeing a lot of shakeups here.
10 car to the inside. 21 thought about diving it, but I think she thought better of it. Stoneman for second. Looks like she'll take it from Little, and Wandayo will attempt to follow. I don't think she'll be able to do it, though. She'll slide back into fourth. Meanwhile, Vancy has actually taken that spot away from Rucatino.
Boy.
That's going to be a competitive battle here between the 1 and the 96. Oh, the
Trying
1
to check up big time on the inside.
had a big checkup. A bunch of other cars kind of slid up the track into the outside. I thought she was pitting. But no, she just had to check up quite a bit. Stoneman now to the inside of Rariston for the lead. You see Wandayo for third. Red-
Red outside's got to hold on for now.
And that's 3 red racing cars in the top 5. The 10, 21, and 22 all in the top 5. And the 21 actually held pretty strong on the bottom there in turn 3.
And turn 4.
And turn 4. And she'll
Takes the
clear.
spot away.
So Wandayo's up to third. As we have officially reached halfway here from Indianapolis in the Brickyard 400. And that's one of those difficult things about this track, especially. When you hit the wall, you pretty much always hit it hard here. There's not really a soft impact at Indianapolis.
Absolutely not.
Wandayo again going to try to make the inside work. And it's 3 and 4 here on Cinlia Rarison. And I think again she's going to make it stick.
But gonna make it stick and might clear here going into turn number 1.
And she may go for the
Might even
lead.
Go for more. Look into the inside.
Not going to have it though.
On the bottom 32 trying to get to the outside. Abby Little to the inside of the 22. From that can make that inside work again. Didn't quite work out in their favor this time.
Not that
32's
time.
Going to take second back away. And Davison in the 22 is now up into third. So Dio falls to fourth.
And that 32 got such a big run, she's going to go to the inside for the race lead on Stoneman.
And here comes the 1. Tried looking 3 wide on the inside, didn't quite work out.
Catching lap cars.
One side by side as well. The 42. By the 82.
42 and 82 who are very, very slow, both of them. 32's got the lead. Oh my goodness, they're going all over the place.
My goodness.
And Little's getting the worst of that.
I think the 42 is still on those old tires, so that's not working out for them at all.
I believe you're correct.
They've already gone back another lap down. Wonder if they were potentially banking on another quick caution.
Possibly. It's just not going to work out that way for her, though. And it's just going to... I think it's what it's going to do is it's going to dig her an even deeper hole. The car holding the free pass position right now is the 99, Marisha Vevel. She's sitting in 19th. She's the top car 1 lap down. If another caution does come out, that would be at the benefit of Marisha Vevels.
And if Stoneman's dropped back quite a bit since last time we saw them up here towards the front.
Yeah, she got stuck in that in the group with those slow lap cars.
Yeah.
I think she'll make her way back up, though. We've seen them make their way back up here. Well, with that being said, it will be time for our FanDuel mid-race report down in the FanDuel Fan Studio from the Brickyard 400 here in Indianapolis. Cinlia Rariston, Andrea Davison, Angeli Rugatino. The top 3, Felicia Vancy, Amani Wandayo, the rest of the top 5. This is a bit of a 7-car pack here towards the front. Rugatino down on the inside. She actually made that stick, but we will send you down to our FanDuel Fan Studio for our mid-race report here with Rashi and Ellie. What do you two got for us down there?
Yep, looking at our race now. Welcome back to the studio for the mid-race report. We're just over halfway to this race, lap 86 of 160. Watching the intense battle right now. It's right now the 32 of, well, it was the 32 of Cinlia Rariston, but just got passed by the 96 of Angeli Rugatino, and now soon the 21 of Amani Wandayo. This pack of how many lead lap cars in this? This is I believe 7 of the cars in the lead lap. Yep, 7 cars in this lead pack here, fighting it out for the lead. It's been well, we mentioned the intense drafting battles that we would see in this race, and this is exactly what we're looking at right now. Lots of moving about, lots of working the air to make things happen, and push cars and move your way past your opponents in the lead pack. As we see now, the 32 trying to send it, trying to send it and retake the lead from the 96. But yeah, Ellie, looking at this race so far under green most of the way, it's been a pretty intense race, and I think it's been a great one so far from a racing standpoint. This has been an excellent, for stock car racing standards, this has been excellent stuff from Indianapolis.
Yeah, this has been really great racing, honestly. Especially the green flag runs we've been getting. The green flag runs we've been getting have been really fun to watch. I really love it, seeing everybody try and shuffle their way through. We've seen like a lot of lead changes. We've seen a lot of shifting other drivers back and forth, pushing people out of the field. There was a point where I was like, oh wow, Abby Little's doing her best since like Michigan or the All-Star race, and then she got freight trained, absolutely freight trained. Yeah, I've really been enjoying the racing here. It's been really great.
Yep, looking at the lead pack, it's kind of split off a little bit. Now 4 cars in a single file line. It's the 96, 21, 32, and 22. Name it. Story of the race so far has been Red Racing's and their speed here. The 3 cars that are in the race remaining, the remaining in the race have been exceptionally quick. As you see, the 21 of Wandayo now push her way past, or at least try to push her way past the 96. But the 32 of Rariston will duck behind the 96, try to help her out here. Wandayo with no real help. 22's coming. That's her teammate, but not going to get there before turn 1. And the 96 will retain her lead for now. As now it's now we have a 9-car battle, I think, for the lead, all the way down to the 38. All of these cars are within as we negotiate our way past a few lap cars with 82 and 42 here. But this has been a pretty insane race to watch. I mean, Watch the 96 and 21 here. 21 just getting to the quarter panel of the 96, but there's a lap car in the way. That'll really help the 21 this time. We'll see what the 32 does. But that'll push the 21 to the lead. 3 wide for second. 22 of Davison wants to join her teammate in second.
Oh, she's gonna do it.
Yep, she's gonna do it. But that's the kind of risky moves these drivers have been taking. Most of the time it's paid off. Which I feel like that's a bit surprising.
And look who's up here again, Tosima, all the way
Yeah.
up in 5th. She
Tosima.
is one of the drivers who are really high seated, who started way out back, and she's back up to the top 5 again.
Whoa, lots of cars in the grass trying to keep to the inside, trying to avoid the 16 there.
That's something we've seen a lot today. Everybody getting in the grass.
Yeah, kind of clipping the grass on the entry of turns 1 and 3.
Whoever does the yard work must be really happy right now.
Pack broken up a little bit because of that. But yeah, that's really been it's really been a game all about the drafting. Let's look at that second pack here because this is a quite hot. This is a bit of a mess here. 96 continues to drop. Already dropped out of the top 10 here, losing lots of ground, stuck behind these lap cars. There she is, still stuck behind. She'll drop behind the 71 of Little. And that's another thing, is that lots of cars in contention as a result of that, of the strength of the draft.
Yeah, and another thing here.
We got an issue. We do have a caution, yes. Saw a few cars there. I think some cars had trouble negotiating the lap cars. I saw the 82, who was already multiple laps down there, getting towed, so that might have been it right there. Something related to the lap cars.
Lap cars seem to be a big problem here if you can't get around them, especially.
Yeah, I mean, with a track as narrow as Indy here, it's not really a surprise that we've had trouble with the lap cars in particular. Especially if you look at the inside of the entry into the corners, that's probably why these drivers have been clipping the grass. That there really isn't much room in terms of racing lines to really make things work. More than 2 wide, really, and most of the time you're already going 2 wide into the corners because there's always somebody trying to pass. You throw a lap car in there, and this kind of makes things all, even more crazy. As we get a bit of a lull from the action there. We'll see what these cars do. It's been about 20 laps, I think, since our last caution, just under, I want to say. 99 of Mauritia Rebels will get the wave around for us. Car 1 lap down. There she is. Yep, a bunch of lead lap cars coming in. That might be all of them. Looks like it.
Looks like most people are coming in.
Well, we'll see what the pit stop battle here. See the 91 getting towed. That's one of the other cars involved. We'll stick with the 21 of Amani Wandayo here.
There was that 42 car we saw for a second,
Yeah.
who held everybody up.
Yeah, we'll see what kind of pit calls these teams are making. Should be 4 tires here. And that will, let's see, how many laps left here. Ooh, there's that narrow pit lane again. 10 of Stoneman kind of had the one in the way. See everybody filtering out. 96, one of the last cars on the lead lap now. Pit stop here. hopefully pretty soon we'll get a replay of what happened that brought out that caution, but otherwise, yeah, it's been fairly clean. This is only our third caution for cause, so definitely good to see that a lot of green flag racing, and it's been I think it's been rewarded. The fans have been rewarded for that because we've seen one absolute show today.
Yeah, I think everybody's happy with the green flag racing we've been seeing. It's been really great seeing everybody everybody able to stay on the track for so long.
On the scale of NASCAR Gen 6 to early 2020s IndyCar, this is leaning closer to that era. As we see the replay of what happened here, they're 3 wide. There's your problem. 64 trying to pass the 9.
God.
That's the bracket matchup. That's 2 cars in the matchup taking each other out for position. 15 rolls down, 42 and 82. Lots of smoke there. The 82 just...
Oh,
and the 91 just gets into it. 82 just runs up, doesn't have anywhere to go, really. And the 91 kind of just barrels straight into that. Things are definitely occurring here.
I guess that's why you don't want to go 3 wide here.
Not really, yeah. Well, we still have, I think, another lap until the caution here. At least one more lap of caution. Maybe an early look at some of the cars that we have left here. How many cars on the lead lap do we have? I believe it's about 17 cars, and I think 19 cars running. I want to say 20 or so. No. There's a few more cars.
17 cars on the lead lap is not bad.
That's not bad. That's not too bad. Most of the cars still running. Looking at that, and with the matchups with the bracket matchups in mind, what do you think here? What are you looking? Do you have any picks right now? I mean, it's been an intense show. I don't know if it's going to be easy to choose a driver here, given how much time and how the racing has been.
Well, it's going to be kind of hard to pick from here. We still have a lot of laps left, but I know Davison, as a driver I've been looking at, she's been running really well so far. I really like the way she's been running.
Yeah.
Which is a bracket matchup with Little, and Little has also been running well. She just got really bad luck with that lap car. We'll have to see how those two battle it out. I think Tosama's another good one here, too. She's finally back up into the top 5. She was here earlier. I think she's another driver I'm looking at here. I'm really hesitant to pick between her and Davison, but I'm going to go with Davison because she's been looking really good.
All right. I mean, it's pretty safe to go for a red car, I feel like. Those cars, I mean, all 3 of their cars that are still running are in the top 6 right now. So definitely a choice to go here. Looking at the matchup still at play here, we have 6 matchups that are still to be decided. 22 and 71, that would be Davison versus Little. Both are still on the lead lap and very much in play. The 6 is fighting the 34. That would be Harina versus McJasmina. Harina's been having to claw her way back up to the lead lap, but she is there now. 16 and 18, those cars, that would be in Jeddah and Alacantes. In Jeddah, I think there's a few laps down at least. Yeah. While 5 laps down, with the 18 still on the lead lap, so the 16 is gonna need something to happen to the 18 there. 1 in 96, those 2 cars are also still on the lead lap. The 96, Rugatino was quick but fell off quite a bit now, running in 16th place, second to last car on the lead lap, while the 1 is running 5th. 62 and 13. What are those cars again? That's the BYW car of Malixon. Wait, no. I've gotten the name wrong there. It's a Yania Waterton, I should say, with the 62 car. Not sure what that car is there. It's just a few positions ahead. That's a matchup that's definitely still at play. And the 52 and 98 are the last one. That's Ava Yarshraj and the 98 and the 52 of Rita Bull. Last car on the lead lap. So pretty much from those matchups, 5 of those cars involved 5 of those match up between cars on the lead lap still, so quite a few matchups still to be decided here.
Yeah, and matchups I would really be paying attention to is the 16 and the 62 and the 22 and 70, or not 22, actually yes, 22 and 71.
Stoneman with an aggressive move that's gonna take out the 32!
Oh!
13 narrowly gets through it. Wow, the 32.
That is a mess.
That's one of the best cars right there. Take it out.
Yeah.
That's gonna bring out another caution. Well, this gives us a little bit of pause now, and with that, I think I'll make my pick now. Well, the 32 was on my radar. That's one of the cars I had on my short list coming up to that. Well, and the 10 as well, given that she's part of Red Racing, and that team's been exceptionally good today. Both of those cars look like they're gonna be out of the running for the race win here. With that, let's take a look at the rest of my list. You mentioned the, I believe you had the 22?
The 22, yes, Davison.
Yeah, the 22 of Davison sitting in second place. Well, in that case, I'm looking around here. Let's go with the 93 of Arena Tosama. Tosama, obviously a driver that had an absolute insanity run for a while there. With a series of wins in about the middle of the season, I believe. What was that? That was I know she won the All-Star race and Daytona Road Course.
She did great at Daytona.
She did great, yeah. Those were like those. That was
a good race.
Yeah. So not too long ago, about the middle of the season, she had an excellent run of form. I see the 18 coming in there, only car taking. Excellent run of form. Dropped off a little bit since then, but has kept herself in contention for good position, good finishes and wins regardless. And right now, it's a bit of a no holds barred fight between pretty much everyone at the lead lap here. So I could definitely see a car from maybe further back in the on the lead lap making up ground, but it does feel like you want to be fairly up front to really make things work. And I think the 93 has the speed and tenacity to make things up here and seal the deal here at the Brickyard 400. All right, any last words, Ellie, before we hand things off back to the studio here, back to the booth here?
Well, you did mention if you're in the front of the field, that is where you're going to want to be right now, and those are some of the best picks. See, if you want to pick somebody who you think is gonna win. Mm-hmm. The cars further out back that I could actually see making up some ground, though, I would take either the 6 or the 71. If you wanna guess a car all the way out back in the middle of the top 10, either the 6 or the 71.
I'm surprised you didn't take the 34. I'm surprised you didn't take the 34. Arena's on two wins in a row. That car right there, looking for that third win. And if she does, she would one up Tosama. She would one up Tosama by technicality. As Tosama's 3 wins in a row were punctuated by the All-Star race and on-points race. If Arena wins here, it would be 3 points races in a row. So maybe look out for the 34. She sits in 9th place now, but nope. But you mentioned cars coming in from the back of the lead lap heading up. Look at the 96 already up to 10th. A little bit of luck there dodging the wrecks, but the 96 car already back up to 10th, and in that battle with the one made up positions as well. So those 2 cars look pretty good as well. Maybe those 2, the 1 and 96, might be cars that the guys in the booth might take. All right, with that, I think that's we'll wrap it up here for our mid-race report. It's been a really eventful affair here. From Indy, and maybe we're starting to see some real aggressive moves being taken place, because that's what we saw right there from what do you call it? Rariston and Rariston and Stoneman in that move. Unfortunately, that one didn't end very well, but we're here for both cars are still running though, with no rear ends. So yeah, we'll see you guys at the end of the race. But otherwise, just enjoy the show and take things back to the booth with Echo and Caleb now.
We're going to have a look at this wreck before we throw our picks there. Coming down into turn number 3. Oh, I think Rayerson just wasn't clear, and it just whips them both around. Hard hits. Ooh, Alacontes, I see why she pitted. Well, lucky, very lucky that not only are those two still in the race, but also that more cars did not get involved. All right, Caleb, you got a pick here. As we're reaching 50 laps to go here from Indianapolis. Do you have a pick here that you've got in mind?
Oh, that certainly flipped things onto its head, considering that took out two very strong cars so far in this race. But honestly, I'd be eyeing that one car. They've been kind of just slowly but surely making their way through this field as this race has gone along, and now they're up into the 3rd position. I think they're going to be my pick to win this race here today from Indianapolis. They've been slowly but surely creeping their way up, and they've definitely shown that they got a fast car. So I think that's my one to watch out for.
I'll take Amani Wandayo in the 21 then. She's looked very fast all day. That car has very clearly been on, been fast. Been battling for the lead lately. Still one more pit stop to go here, but I think that the 21 has that best shot here to take hold of this race victory from Indianapolis. And also, I said 50 laps to go. We're actually at 60 laps to go. I had a little math error. I think I forgot the length of the race.
Uh-oh, the 34 might have an issue.
Oh,
First down
oh
the apron.
no!
Oh, that is an issue. Man, they just got back on the lead lap.
She just got into the top 10, and it's all over. So, very unfortunate way. Not only will that knock Harina out of the race, that will also knock her out of the bracket because her competitor, Mick Jasmine, is still in the race. Actually, still right here, so Harina enters with 2 straight wins, and she's going to exit without even a shot at winning the bracket. How the cookie crumbles sometimes.
Yep.
There's just 3 cars that are still running that are off the lead lap. Harina will drop our car running count to 20. Alright. 59 laps to go. When we take the green flag here, Wandayo, Davison, Vancy, Tosima, and Koo. Green flag. Back out.
Staying in a line so far. Who's the first one to jump out of line up here towards the front?
Nobody's really done it yet, although I think we'll see it coming down here into turn 3.
Here we go.
Tosima. Restart much smoother than the last.
Not quite.
Can't do it. Ellie, got word on the 34 Harina?
Yeah, it looks like we're hearing from her radio. When they took the car into the pits, it looks like one of the pistons cracked, which has ended up causing her to smoke and just stall out and get towed to pit road. She's not very happy with it.
I can't really blame her about that.
Yeah, I wouldn't be too happy either. I have a chance to win 3 in a row. I just got back in the race, and it all went up in smoke.
Out the door.
Yeah. How about Valicia Vancy? She's made her way to 2nd now.
Up to P2. Like I said, she's just been slowly creeping her way towards the front, and now she has a shot potentially here at taking the race lead.
The interesting thing here is, as well, now you start to ask here, what are we going to do pit strategy-wise, because there's only one more stop left. They pitted around, what, lap 90? Fuel window about 38 laps. They should only have one more stop. I don't think they'll run out of fuel. But it's going to depend, what time do you want to time that stop now? We've seen the overcut work a little better than the undercut here. So I think that's one thing you got to question as well. Do you want to try to overcut here, or do you want to, well, try a bit of something different, try a pit a little earlier and hope for some cautions?
It's definitely up in the air, but yeah, like we saw in that last pit cycle, the overcut definitely worked out quite well for all those drivers. It did end up going a bit long, but I don't know, we'll have to see how it does all end up shaking out. Rigatino in the 96 around the outside of 38, back inside of the top 5. 96's pit crew is not been the best today, but luckily Rigatino's been able to make that stuff up on the racetrack. That 96 is still blazing fast. Now trying to make her way back up towards the front once again.
Yeah, Rigatino got saddled back in the back of the field for a decent bit there. But she's making her way back up through. See back here, there's McJasma, Waterton, and Vebelst. Fighting for that 10th spot. .42 is still pretty slow, so I think she may have suffered a little bit more damage from the incident with the 72 than we may have first assumed. Wandayo, Vancy, Davison, Tosima, Rigatino still staying as the top 5. I hear there's Little trying to pass a Jarsaraj for 7th. Not gonna happen. Not quite yet, anyways. Rigatino looks to the inside on Tosima. They're catching the 42 here of Gennaro. That should be navigable.
Be too much of an issue for our front 6.
Yeah. May cause an issue a little further back. Yeah, that's causing an issue back here. Although, interestingly, to point out here, these front 6 are a bit strung out. These cars are all starting to bunch together here back here. If anybody's going to make a move, these cars have got to kind of put a little bit of work in here to try and get towards that lead group. But they're pretty well back. They're about 4.5 seconds back.
It's definitely not really helping their case. Is that
they're still going side by side.
Cars are spread out. Yeah, they are still staying single file for the time being. So,
well,
as soon as I say that,
you say
as soon as I say that,
you just had to say something, didn't you?
I just had to say something.
And now the 10 and the 32 will be caught.
32.
Before when they were in front of the leaders, they were fighting for the lead. Now they're fighting to stay on the lead lap, and I don't think they will.
That doesn't look like it, unfortunately.
Those cars very, very, very clearly have been hurt by 22 and 96 making contact there. But those cars have been clearly very hurt by their incident. Tosuma's gotten up to third. She's now looking for second on Vancy. She won't be able to do anything about it just yet. Wandayo still leads. Top 6, very single file. This group back here trying their best to catch, but they don't have the power or the speed to get up there just yet. Tosuma looked again to the inside, but that's going to let Rugatino get by her. And now the 93 is slipped back. All the way, going to go back all the way to 6th here. And Rugatino looks to the inside on Vancy.
They get the lane going into 1, and they're going to be side by side. We're going to turn number 2. Rugatino going to have the preferred line. We're going to see if Vancy can maybe get a run on the outside. They stay side by side down the back stretch. Vancy's going to get the draft off of the 21 of Wandayo.
You stay side by side off turn 2. That's going to benefit the car on the outside line.
And Vancy hangs it on.
Pretty much you're going to have to... staying side by side down the back stretch is going to benefit the car on the outside. Staying side by side on the front stretch is going to benefit the car on the inside, just because we've seen it a lot today. It's been a lot easier to make those moves into turn 1 than in turn 3. We see Youngwei Koo trying to make a move on Andre Davison for 4th. And you know, this is another car we haven't really talked about that much today, Youngwei Koo in the 38 car, but she's running very strong. She's had some good, strong runs the past few weeks. Just kind of has been showing up. Hasn't really been making too much noise when she gets there, but Koo's been fast. Finished 6th last week in the Echo Energy International Speedway. And she's looking at fighting for another top 5 here. She tries to get past Andrea Davison, though she's not going to be able to get to 4th. Meanwhile, Valicia Vancy...
really strung out there.
Yeah, they've gotten really spread out. Here comes the 38 to the inside of the 22 again. These cars might have been catching if they weren't going side by side themselves. And oh, they've caught another lap car. That's the 42 of Gennaro.
Rugatino. All the way down to the grass.
96 all the way into the grass. Not going to work out.
Not the best entry into 3, but not the worst either. They're going to stay clear of the 22.
Koo is still trying to get by the 22. Keep in mind as well here, Gianni McJasmine is still yet to score a top 10 on an oval this year. This would be a big change if she can pull it off here. From my calculations, when they pitted, 38 laps from then is around lap 128. So I would expect pit stops in about 10 to 15 laps here if we stay green the rest of the way. Davison passes Rugatino for 3rd. This group is sticking with now. They're starting to run about a similar times.
They finally got single filed out, and when they did run up on that lap car, they closed in quite significantly. It's kind of leveling up back once again now that they're both running in clean air, but yeah, this front pack does encounter another kind of slope of some kind. This back pack can definitely gain quite a bit. Could maybe catch back up, and we got the 10 car.
They are going to catch the 10 car fairly soon.
I could potentially give them a chance.
And I mean, if this group starts battling and splitting itself up even more, they lost time though. But if this group starts battling and splitting itself up more, that can let that group back there gain time again. Had to take the slow way through turn 3 there. As here comes Rugatino looking for third on Davison. Down into turn 1.
And she'll take the spot.
She'll get it.
38 down to the inside.
Ku's still trying to get by that 22. Seeing cars going side by side.
Ooh,
Lap
boy.
cars going side by side.
Up the middle. Wow.
Oh, that's really going to
Almost a
split them up.
96.
That's really going to split them up.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to catch the 20 of Avriella, who
20
just
of
got
them,
the free
too.
pass, too. This group actually still lost time, although I think that's because they had to navigate the 10.
Eventually.
Now this front pack is pretty split again. Here comes Vancy looking up the outside of Wandayo
Oh boy.
into turn 3.
Middle 3 wide. It takes the lead.
Got it!
How about that move?
Great move from Felicia Vancy. Played Wandayo just right to get it. And the one car will take the lead for the first time today. And they're going 3 wide here.
Bunched up behind her. Oh boy. Might get 3 wide. You're going into 1.
Ah, Tosuma backed out of it. Smart move.
Backed out of it. Yeah. Yeah, in the second pack, they just continue to fight each other. Lasting quite a bit of time.
That second group is starting to just fall back a fair bit. Though we'll see where it ends up here. This group here still continues to fight side by side. Now these cars are still struggling. And the 1 and 21 have gotten away a fair bit.
Only about a second to all the others in the group. Oh, and they're going crazy back
3
there.
wide into turn 3.
Oh,
Rugatino
boy, look
really
out.
wants by. And the 6 car is blowing up.
Oh no!
McJasma. And that's another double bracket elimination. The 6th and the 34 both now out of the race with engine troubles. As the 21 goes to the inside on Vancy, looking for the race lead again. And they fight side by side, and that's gonna drag this group back in, or it would if they weren't going side by side here as well with Tosima and Rugatino.
One side by side amongst themselves. Rutino going to stay clear down the backstretch. Who also trying to look around the outside as we head into turn 3. And it's going to work out in their favor.
Ku takes 4th. Well, this group actually lost a car because the 6 is done.
Probably why they dropped back a lot there as well. And that's such a shame, though. Running with a potential top 10 in sight.
But you know you don't have a shot at the win unless something happens in your favor. Although the 22 is starting to lose this pack a little bit. That could help. We've got a couple cars to draft up on, and we are seeing that this group is starting to split a fair bit.
Mm-hmm. Say this group could probably run down the 20 and the 22. They could probably get a sizable run going.
They did gain on the leaders that time as well. Keep in mind that now everybody's pretty much just in a 2-car group, except for this group, which is in a 4-car group. And if they catch that 20 and 22, it would make it a 6-car train, and that could catch them up all to this group as well.
93's falling off a little bit as well.
The 93 is starting to drop back. They've caught this group. As they're catching this lap car, they're gonna all have to check up. Here comes Koo!
Oh my goodness! Launching up the inside! They might... Oh my goodness!
That checked everybody up. That's gonna drag the 96 and that's gonna drag the 96-38 in. The 93's getting dragged in. That may drag a little few of these cars back together as well. And now the second pack is bigger than the first.
Might be little.
Abby Little making big moves.
How about that 38 of Coup? A crazy move to the inside, made it work. Almost got to the lead, but got blocked by Hyundai, but still all over the back bumper of that 21.
And yeah, this group is starting to catch now. It's down to 3.2 seconds. Remember, it was up to 5 at one point. They're slowly starting to reel them in, and I think once they get to the draft of that one car, it'll be even better.
It cost the draft from that front pack as well, so
Yeah.
they might drift back into the second pack.
They lost time that time.
They lost time that time.
But this group keeps battling itself.
They're catching a couple lap cars. Oh my goodness. Oh, this is gonna change things a lot.
That may be what drags everybody in. Now the 21's gotten away, but she's by herself.
It's like they're gonna form a group of 3 there. There goes the 1 around the outside. The 42 is down.
42's pitting.
Potentially these next couple laps as well, we might start seeing some of these groups trickle down pit road for the last cycle of stops.
Yeah.
This group's going to catch the 32 at an unopportune time.
We are at lap 128, so I will expect pit stops to begin fairly shortly here. There was one car that actually pitted on the last caution. It was the 18 of Harry Alicante's. So in theory, the 18 has a little more fuel than everybody else. I don't think that will matter very much. She's sitting in 12th, about 9 seconds back of the lead. Koo slides back to 4th here. Rigatino and Tosima both get by the 38. Should reach for lap 130. So we'll have 30 to go next time across the bricks. Meanwhile, here's the fight for 6th between Yukovic and Little. These cars have done a good job just keeping themselves behind. At about a steady rate of the leaders. But they haven't done a very good job at making up time.
Laps to go here from the Brickyard top 3. Kind of just pulling away a little bit. Coob in this 38 maybe slipping back a little bit. They might still have a bit of a snippet of the draft, but obviously if the 38 can stay with the top 3. Advancing the 1 kind of in her own little pocket there, and then you got the pack of 4 behind them with Vebbles barely trying to hang on. But I'd say we're pretty much about in the window when all these drivers should come down the pit lane, and it's definitely going to be intriguing to see when everybody does elect to pit. Because, like I said, saw the overcut work pretty well that last time, but we'll have to see what everybody elects to do.
I mean, again, we're past the fuel window here. As we see, the 52 has actually come down pit road. Rachel Cole is down. But the other thing here as well, the other thing as well that you want to think about when you time that pit stop will help you maybe catch up to this draft, maybe. We see Vebbles just come down pit road. They've caught the 10 car here. And that's really going to slow him up. Here comes Rigatino to the inside of Wandayo, and the 96 is going to take the lead. And Wandayo will fall all the way back to 4th. Vancey's pitting. Same as
Vancey.
So is Waterton.
Here we go.
And now the 96 back out front. We'll see this last cycle of stops make through. 18's pitting with everybody else here. Same. Okay, the 98's also in. Again, the overcut was better on the last pit cycle. Ku's coming in. Tosima's in. Rogatina. Everybody in this lead group is coming in.
They're all coming at the same time.
Everybody.
And so, oh, they're going to reel him in on pit entry, maybe.
Maybe. Every single one of the top 7 has come down pit road. Which was everybody that was in contention for the race win. Coming down pit road here.
Time.
Right now. '96, the leader in. She's had some slow stops today.
Let me
Cool.
stop right here to see if they can deliver.
No. She's going to lose the lead off.
Ah, oh, they're 3 wide behind.
They're 3 wide coming off pit road. Little, Davison, and Yukovic. And Rugatina's going to fall behind back to 4th.
Here comes Vancey in the 1 through turn 2.
And here comes Wandayo looking underneath
They're already
Koo.
going at it.
She wants the lead back. Trying to deny the 38 of even 1 lap led.
Here comes the 93.
Here comes Tosima trying to take advantage of both of them. Amani Wandayo out front. Tosima to the inside.
She's got it.
She may have it here, but Wandayo may stay with her off the corner.
Maybe not. And they've already got a solid group forming up back there.
Yeah.
Although they are going at it with one another. It's probably not what you
What they
want
need is to
do.
form up.
Yeah.
Because this top 3 is formed up. The 96 has slipped out of the draft of those top 3. But she is bringing the 71 with her. The 13's going to probably reel herself in on their draft. As Wandayo has lost the lead, Ku is taking it back. Here comes Tosima to the inside in turn 3.
I gotta make the inside stick.
I think she will.
Painting side by side.
Still going to be side by side. They'll come off the corner a little high.
Here we go.
And this
Looks
group
like
back here
we're-
is starting to form up.
Yeah. And Abby Little looking to be the one to lead the charge.
Yep. And Arena Tosima now out front. Got saddled further back on pit strategy earlier in the race, but she's gotten back to the lead. Wandayo and Ku, second and third. Fourth and fifth is right here between Little and Waterton as they keep fighting. Rugatino back behind them, then Vancy. And would you look at that? That battle is still a battle. This battle is still a battle between Little and Davison. They didn't gain though.
First group continues to pull away. Waterton trying to look back down to the inside of Little. We'll get to the inside through turn 2. Got the 32 coming back, merging back onto the racetrack in front of them. Have to be careful. Gotta put the 32 in the
I'm not sure that was careful, but
That's maybe the furthest thing from careful, but somehow they made it work.
they lived anyways. Ku and Wandayo. Now Ku dives to the inside of the 21. Side by side there. And the more those cars go side by side, the more it'll let these cars back here catch up. Just that little bit. And Ku couldn't hang on to the spot against Wandayo. These cars are running 46.1s lap time wise. These cars ran 46.3. How's this group? Tosima gonna lead them back with a 46.5. This group with a 46.4, just a little gain. A 10th isn't gonna cut it. They need to be making up. Well, they need to be making up more than a 10th a lap if they're gonna catch. They've only got 21 laps.
Yeah, it's crunch time from Indy. Coming to 20 laps to go. It's go time. Does look like they are starting to form up really good, though.
They are forming up. They're pretty close to each other. But with that, also comes the want to battle.
In the battle, I think they're going at it up there for the lead. Or at least for second.
They were trying. Oh, they gained. They gained a lot that time.
Oh, they gained.
That's the kind of gains they need to be making into these top three. And these top three are now closing up on a lap car in the 10 of Stoneman. They've got 20 laps to make it work. It's very possible to see both the 1 and the 2 seeds eliminated in this race. No gain that time, but not much of a loss either. Now they're starting to get a little split here, but I think this lead group is also getting split. This group that Waterton's leading needs to start making up time, though. They need to make it up quicker. That's quicker.
All right, there we go.
2/10. '62 has drifted off of this group, so pretty much it's just the top 8 as Ku really trying to make moves on Wandayo. Lead group is fighting for everything it's worth. The second group just wants to get to them. But they can't agree on who wants to lead it. Picked up again. But at the rate they're catching, I'm not sure that that's going to be enough of a pickup. Granted, if this group gets in the draft of these top 3, then it's a whole different story.
Yeah.
Because at that point, then they'll start stringing in and they'll go a little faster. NordVPN fastest lap right now. Andre Davison, the 22.
I'd say if they can keep this pace up, they might have a shot at getting to the top 3, especially if they run into some more lap traffic, which could
very well
still happen.
Probably will be a factor. Oh, wow, look at that. They gained 3/10 that time.
That was a very solid gain. If they can keep this up, they might have a shot.
They need to not stumble.
They're in the same frame now.
They need to not stumble for the next 16 laps. And these cars up front keep fighting side by side. Ku and Wandayo going side by side is just going to help these cars drag in if they stay single file like this.
See if it comes down any more this time by.
Yes.
It does.
Another 2/10.
I believe the front pack is catching the 32.
They will be catching the 32 here. Oh yeah, you can see them.
When they do catch a 32.
That
they might catch them through 3
they
and
might
4.
catch her in the corner.
That's gonna hold them up quite a bit if they do.
Oh, that's a terrible spot to catch her.
Oh.
And that's really good for this group.
Oh yeah, that's gonna draw them in a lot. Oh boy. They're really getting held up by this 32. Here they come.
Oh dear.
Wow.
And that's what this group needed. Although they've got to hope that they don't get held up. Which a couple of them didn't.
On back did. The 13 and the 71 escaped though, and they might be in the draft of this front pack.
They are. They're here. Waterton and Little are here now. I don't think Davison, Vancy, and Rugatino can get there, though. I'm not sure they're close enough.
We'll have to see how much that might have costed them.
The 13 and 71 are in this group, though.
Yeah, 31, Waterton, and Little, they are there.
And it definitely won't help if these
that's
three go
not gonna
3
help
wide.
them at all. That's not going to help your case at all. Unless they're just trying to purposely cause a caution.
Waterton looks to the inside on Koo. Trying to grab third. Not going to do it. Now they've got a couple other lap cars and expecting.
They get held up quite a bit again. I don't know if I'd count
this group of 3 out.
Back out just yet. Oh yeah, they're not going to catch him at a good time.
Ooh, 21 got held up.
At a good time at all.
93's okay.
93 gets away, but everybody else on back.
Again, I'm not sure you want to get away with like that here.
Yeah, I don't think so. Robertson to the inside through turn 4.
She goes, that's for second now. Gonna pin the 38 behind the 16. Look at Little coming through. And they're still getting held up by the 16. And 93's got a big lead now, but I don't think you want that. We've reached our windows, 11 to go. Arinia Tosima, Yania Waterton, Abby Little, Amani Wandayo, Youngwei Koo, the top 5. Felicia Vancy, Andrea Davison, and Angeli Rigatino still trying to reel these cars in to get a chance at the win. And they actually may have a shot. They're pretty close.
They might have the draft. They might have it.
If they can get past the 16 cleanly, and they will.
They caught the 16 at a really good spot. I think they're going to be in it to win it. Oh, maybe 96.
Ah, 96 just got there.
Race is on now.
93's well out front by herself. Waterton is closing up. She is getting to that 93. The question is when. It's now. As Little
take a peek to the inside.
Little
take
looks
a peek to the inside.
Not gonna have it.
I didn't have the momentum.
It's not over, and this second group definitely has the pace to keep with these leaders. Can they hold that draft, though, is the main question. Will they catch more lap cars? That's another big question. Eight laps to go. Waterton's all over Tosima. But will she be able to time the move? Not going for it yet.
For now.
But she's definitely looking. She's definitely been peeking to the inside here. Down the front stretch, that may be the best shot, especially into turn 1. But she just doesn't have enough closure here. That 5th, 6th, 7th is starting to close up. don't know. They may catch this 32 again.
They might catch the 32 once more.
That could be where it lies, is getting through the lap traffic. Davison started to slip off, so the 22 may be out of it. Rugatino slipped back as well, and I think she may also be out of it, but they are still closing on that 32. It's going to be within the next lap or two that they get to that 32. It may be right now, actually.
Lap right here. It's going to be right now.
And not the worst spot to catch her, although the 13 checks up.
Ooh. That could maybe play into her favor, though, a little bit.
Yeah, 5 laps to go. And that will drag the 38 and the 1 back into this group. That's a 5-car group that's kind of letting the 93 get away. And now this will depend, these cars getting to that 93, it may depend on where they catch the 93. And now they're catching the 10 as well again. Oh, they've caught that 10 car. That's going to slow them up a bit.
This might just come down to the 93 and the 13.
It's very possible. We'll see what this group of 4 does. They've got more in numbers. Now, if the 13 decides to break up that draft between the 93 and 13, that could play into everybody's favor here in this back here. But Vancy and Little, the 2 teammates, looking at side-by-side action. Three laps to go. Will Waterton make a move on Tosima? $31 and $20, I'm not sure if they'll catch. Two laps to go.
They might catch him.
I think they will. It just depends on if these two are going side by side when the 93 and 13 get there.
They're trying everything they can, but just has no help.
Fancy's gotten up to 3rd. This group's fighting amongst itself. Tosima, Waterton, the 2 at play here at the end in Indianapolis. White flag. And Waterton really lost a little bit. But we'll see if that plays into her hands here. The lap cars gonna be in the mix. Tosima trying to hold off Yania Waterton, winner at Kentucky earlier in the year. Tosima looking for win number 4. And Waterton's just gonna stay back behind and push her Mercedes teammate to the win, I think. And Irina Tosima will take the wins lead this year. Tosima will take home the victory in the Brickyard 400. Third place will go to Vancy, and I believe the
Abby
71
Little.
was blowing up across the line in 6th place.
Not
That-
ideal, but just made it.
That is awesome. She'll
Just
advance
made it.
too. She'll advance too with that. That's the drum I was expecting. Arinia Tosima, what a drive by her today. She had to come through. Had pit stop issues, got mired in the back of the field, but she got back to the front and held everybody off. And that 93 takes her 4th win of the season. And honestly, a very fun race from Indianapolis. I enjoyed that a lot more than I thought I was going to. Tosima with the win. Waterton's second straight podium for MBYW Motorsports with a different driver this time. Felicia Vancy gets a 3rd place. Amani Wandayo with a P4. And Youngwei Koo with another top 5, finishing 5th. Koo is really starting to make that push for that playoff spot. Vancy's starting to make that push. What did you think, Caleb? How did you feel about that one?
Like I said, that definitely went awry from my expectations. That was a really fun race. Saw a lot of great battles throughout the run so far this race, especially up there towards the lead. And got a bit of chaos there, as well as, honestly, Indy can provide sometimes. But just overall, what a race here from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, especially, like I said, with all the factors and everything coming in. Saw a lot of drama with the in-season bracket tournaments, and definitely going to probably shake the points up quite a bit as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how all that plays out. But overall, like I said, a very fun race here from Indianapolis, and that was definitely a lot of fun.
And we'll have the point standings for you in our post-race show, as well as the brackets, matchups, and how everything looks, who advances, who moves on, who doesn't move on in the bracket. We'll have that all for you coming up next. But 13 cars finished on the lead lap. Arinia Tosima with her 4th win of the season. And what that will also do is it will keep the playoff field at 20 for now. 4 races to go, 3 point spots available. Absolute maximum of a 22-car playoff field. I want to look at the 71 because that where does it go for her? It had to have been right down the front stretch. She's running 6th. So she didn't even lose any spots from this. There it goes, right there. She made it. That is one way to end the race for Abby Little, but you know what? Pulling off the upset and doing it like that, I think, is something that literally everybody would kind of dreams of doing. With that being said, we're going to send you down to the FanDuel Fan Studio for our post-race report with Arashia and Ellie. What do you two have for us down there, and what are you expecting next week in Iowa?
Well, what a last run that was. Pretty thrilling stuff to see. pretty thrilling stuff to see from that last pit cycle all the way to the end of the race. Interesting to see cars, how do I say this? The cars start tapering off, and to the point where we ended up with just those two cars in the last few laps. The 93 and 13, just those two Mercedes at the end. But even with that in mind, it was still pretty interesting to see just all the cars negotiating their way through the pack and all that stuff in the last run of the race. So, yeah, congrats to Rainier Tosma on it. And another excellent run on her, and her 4th win of the season, definitely shaping up to be one of the playoff favorites right now. With strings of great results already. And 3 wins in the last, 7 races. So, almost winning half the races in that stretch. And on top of that, of course, ERR winning one of the other races in that stretch means that the Mercedes look particularly quick, and take home another one, and they take home a 1-2 to show for it. What do you think of the racing, especially that last run, Ellie?
I thought that was crazy. I thought that was great racing. I think some people are going to be saying that the Tosanity era is back. I mean, she's gotten 4 wins now. The racing we saw was really great. I really liked what we were seeing as soon as that last pit cycle ended. It was really great. Everybody was kind of filing out, getting into their own pack, and you're seeing the cars who weren't in packs kind of just lagged behind. And if you weren't in a pack, you just really weren't going anywhere. And that like 4th, 5th, 6th pack, they just like shot straight through the air and created a really great draft to just catch up to the top 2. I was really surprised to see Waterton up there, but Tosmo was on a great run. That was great racing.
Yeah, great to see the 71 of Abby Little finishing 6th there. That's her first top 10 since Mexico City, and a good time time for that as she pulls off the biggest upset in the bracket by defeating defeating Davison, who finished 8th.
Yeah.
Full a lot of upsets in the brackets today, obviously, with all the action that we saw today. I'm not entirely surprised to see that kind of thing happen.
Yeah, that was definitely like an upset. I mean, I didn't even expect her to run that well because she just hasn't ran that well since about Mexico City. But these kind of bigger tracks that she does tend to do better on, and I think blowing up into 6th place, winning and or not winning, but like getting your best race in a really long time is a really funny way to do it. And I think that's also very telling. I think her team must have locked in and got a great car for this race. The fact that it blew up on the end must mean she like really ran it.
Yeah. Looking at, I mean, how do I say this? Vancy. Vancy finishing 3rd. Obviously, she's now the highest seed remaining in the in-season tournament, finishing 3rd in this race. Obviously stays alive. It's been a great run of form for Vancy, a driver who has had quite a few great results in the last few races. She's been dragging her way up to the playoff battle. I believe this result should push her over the line ahead of Nietzsche Garnston for that last playoff spot. That will be 4 top 10s in the last 5 races for the one team. So that great run of results continues for the one team, and 2 good results for MNC Racing as both of their cars advance to the next round. Looking at other results here, let's see some of the other ones that we saw that were still yet to be decided when the racing was under. When we were at our mid-race score, I should say. 52 and 98, I believe. That one was decided in the 98's favor. Yes, the 98 finished 9th, and the 52 13th. 62-13 obviously went to the 13. 71, yeah, 71 1, 6 1, the 18, I'm pretty sure 1, yep. 18, 1, 13, and the 98 were the ones that were the results of the ones, the matchups that were yet to be decided when we were in our mid-race break. So, looking at the bracket here, I believe. I need a full image of the bracket. Hang on here. Try to project some of the matchups here. I know little advanced, obviously, so that would put her in competition with Schliesenbach. Be seeds 32 versus seed 16. Believe then from then on the 46 and the 82. I think the 82 carried on a little bit longer. That would be seed 25 facing off against seed. Not sure between which. The 64 9 came out at the same time. That one I think might have been the 9 if they went back to the previous lap. So that one probably. So I think that would be Paisley Yuria versus Carly Bird, 25 versus 24. McJasmine C29 won out that battle, and she'll face off C20 18 the 18 of Alacantes. Vebelst advanced, obviously. It'll be, I believe, Vebelst and Garston next. After that, then Vancy and Rarinston, because Malixon was taken out very early in the race. Let's see, 2 versus 18. I think Yatica won out her matchup against 23 Stoneman. Yeah, we'll see double check the rest of them, but any other any other notes you'd have from some of the matchups we had today?
I mean, honestly, a lot of them were, I guess, not necessarily surprises, but more so like, some of them were shockers, some of them weren't. Vebelst,
well, yeah,
wasn't
Vebelst
too
and
shocking. But, Malixon was one that kind of...
Malixon was a bit of a surprise, but she was taken out extremely early.
She was taken out extremely early,
She's taken out the first incident, so that kind of explains that one.
It explains it.
Yatica, and I believe, I don't even know where AWSCO finished. She was in that first right. I think she was in that first right. Might have been. Just in that case, I think. In that case, I think Stoneman probably would have ran long enough to defeat her. So I think it would be Yatica versus Stoneman in that one. Then you have Tosama, the winner, obviously, against Happeman. 3 and 14, and then the last one is going to be Waterton versus Agyarsharash, so 27 versus 22. Good mix of seeds here still in play. Seeds 2 and 3 are still here, but not seeds 2, 3, and 5. I think out of the top 5 seeds are still in the running from those ones. So yeah, still quite a few of the favorites heading into this tournament still in it. But of course, lots can change as we head to the next race at Iowa. Which, and since Iowa's coming up, that's I believe 7/8 of a mile oval. One of the newer short tracks that we've seen on the schedule. No, it was built in, I'd say, in the last few decades, and that's a pretty new, pretty modern. That's a pretty modern facility, and definitely a fairly unique one racing wise. That one we usually see. Iowa Speedway usually sees action from the NASCAR, formerly known as the NASCAR Xfinity Series. The Cup Series goes there as well, of course. AWSCO going to be taking on that, I believe. Is it both series heading there? I don't. Is it series heading to Iowa? Yes, both series are heading to Iowa. So I think that's the Yeah, both series will be taken on the 7/8 of a mile short oval. That's a really interesting one. Not sure what to expect from Iowa. That's a pretty unique one racing wise, I think. And what do you have? Like, do you have any potential insights of what do you think of what the racing is going to be like there?
Well, I know it's going to be competitive. We're very late in the season, so I know it's definitely going to be a competitive race there. I'm not really too sure what to expect from Iowa in itself and what the racing will entail, given it's a track that it's kind of different from the other tracks we've really seen. So I feel like it might be its own experience. I could say that it'll definitely stand out from some of the other racetracks we've seen our drivers race on for sure.
Yeah. I mean, Iowa and Richmond are going to be, I'd say, fairly long-run-based short tracks, the next two coming up. And that's something that's going to be fun to watch, I think, from a strategy and technical perspective. Obviously, lots of long forms. Long form strategy style racing coming up in the Cup and the Continental Series, as both series will be doing the same racing at the same tracks. I believe we'll have confirmation that Alicia Vanti is now 13 points above Nietzsche. Stone came into this race 13 behind, so that's a 26-point swing in favor of the one team. Audrey Stoneman still sits 24 points out. Schliesenbach 39 out. Parkings and Jetta both within. Still within 52 points of the playoffs. So lots to talk about in that last for that last one in the playoffs, and crucially, the repeat winner means that spot is still up for grabs. All right, with that, I think it's a good time to wrap things up now. So it's been a pleasure having you on the post-race show with us here in the studio. I've been Rasha alongside Ellie here. We'll take things back to the booth now, where Echo will close out the broadcast for everyone. Thank you.
Yeah, and a very, very fun race here from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Irina Tosma takes her 4th win of the season, and she does it while kissing the bricks. We'll see you next week. We've got Continental and Cup Series action from Iowa. It's the second round of the bracket. Our bracket matchups next week: Laurie Schliesenbach against Abby Little, Carly Byrne against Pace Laniria, Barry Alacantes against Giammi McJasmina, Marisha Vebelst against Alicia Byrne, Valicia Vancy against Cinlia Rariston, Audie Stoneman against Michaela Yatica, Irina Tosma against Taylor Happerman, and Ava Ajarsaraj against Yania Waterton. All right, we'll see you next week from Iowa. On behalf of Caleb, Rasha, and Ellie, I'm Echo. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I will see you all in the next one. See ya!